We're live from New Delhi. You're watching TT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam pays tribute to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat, also to meet President Murmu on the last day of his week-long India visit. US trade negotiator Brendan Lynch in New Delhi as India-US to restart trade talks. Day-long talks mark first engagement since the US imposed steep tariffs. Gulf states call for concrete response against Israel's attack on Doha. Gulf Cooperation Council's joint defense body to meet soon. Israel threatens Hamas wherever they are. Rains wreak havoc in parts of Himalayan states of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Series of cloudbursts and landslides recorded. Prime Minister Modi takes stock of the situation and assures all possible support. And on to the details now. Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam today paid floral tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, at Rajghat in New Delhi. He'll also pay a visit to Sadaiv Atal, the memorial of Bharat Ratna and former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The visiting dignitary will also visit the new Parliament building, besides calling on President Draupadi Murmu. Prime Minister Ramagoolam's India visit, following the visit of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Mauritius in March 2025, will advance the strong and enduring bonds between India and Mauritius. And US Assistant Trade Representative Brendan Lynch arrived in India last Monday night for a crucial round of trade talks with his Rajesh Agarwal, India's chief trade negotiator and special secretary in the Commerce Department. The discussions to be held today aim to advance the bilateral trade agreement, or BTA, launched in March 2025. Well, focused on resolving US tariffs on Indian goods and boosting trade in various sectors, including services and manufacturing, the negotiators are targeting a first phase deal by November. In the meeting today, both countries would try to make a basic framework of easing out tariffs imposed on each other goods and services. Earlier, both countries had set a bilateral trade target of $500 billion by the year 2030. And in a major success against the Maoists, a joint team of 208 Cobra Battalion CRPF and Chhattisgarh Police recovered a huge stock of explosive material and weapon manufacturing equipment in the Kanchala forest area. Well, the forces conducted a search and combing operation in Kanchala forest, aimed in Bijapur, Chhattisgarh, and recovered a cache of arms, ammunition and explosives from Naxal dump. Items including BGL launcher, Bharmar gun, 6 BGL rounds, 4 directional mines, detonator, Cortex wire, Maoist uniforms and literature have been handed over to the local police there. Also, 5 Bangladeshi students of National Institute of Technology, Silchar, have been suspended for involvement in violent clashes in the campus. The decision was taken after clashes between two groups of students had turned violent, causing injuries to few students last week. An inquiry committee was constituted for investigation of the case, and as per the recommendation of the inquiry committee, 5 students were suspended for a period of 1 year. The 5 suspended students are Bangladeshi nationals. The director ruled out involvement of any Indian students in the incident. And in weather update, in Himachal Pradesh, extremely heavy spell of rain in the capital Shimla and surrounding areas has put life completely out of gear in the capital city. Heavy overnight rain triggered floods and landslides on the around Cart Road, the traffic artery of Shimla. Many vehicles, including buses, were swept away and shops were damaged. In southwestern Bilaspur's Gumarvi subdivision, the Sia Khad River was flowing at its highest level today. while authorities continue to monitor the situation. And Muskan Chaudhary joins us from Shimla for more on the weather there. Well, Muskan, how is the situation? Red alert has been sounded, and yesterday was also a very terrific day for the state. What is the current situation?
Lipakshi, Himachal Pradesh rainfall has once again put the life completely out of gear at several places across the state, including the capital Shimla. There were 3 incidents last night of cloud burst and flash flood, in which the Mandi was the district which was hit again. In Mandi, there was 2 incidents of flash flood. The first incident that took place was in Dharampur, where a local bus stand was flooded with the river, flooded because of the flash flood, and a lot of silt has entered the local bus stand, and the bus stand is currently submerged under the water. Another incident that took place in Mandi was in the Nihari Panchayat, where a house has been swept away due to the flash flood, in which 3 people are reportedly dead, in which there are 2 females and there is 1 kid who is of around 9 months, and 3 other people were rescued from the current situation. However, the rescue operation is still undergoing in the Nihari Panchayat. And talking about the capital, there are multiple landslides which has been reported due to the last night rainfall. And there was another incident of flash flood that occurred in the Bilaspur area, in which due to the rising water and flash flood, the market area has been submerged, and the silt and the water has entered the house of the people, and they panicked at night and they had to leave their places. So currently the situation is fine. The rescue operation is undergoing. The weather is clear right now, so it is helping to rescue the people smoothly out of the places. And according to the meteorological department, the weather will be clear across the state after the 17th September. But, the monsoon is leaving. But as you can see, there are still the incident of flash flood and cloud burst going across the state.
Also, Muskan, the Siakhad River was flowing at its highest level yesterday. What's the situation out there?
The water level is still very high, Lipakshi. The administration has advised people not to go near the water bodies. And if I'm talking about the water level in the Pong Dam in the Kangra is also at a very high level. The inflow of water is too much right now. The administration advised people yesterday also not to wander around in the areas, and the people who are coming around the areas of the Pong Dam and the plain area, especially of the Kangra, the administration has advised people to stay on alert. If the water will increase, they have to release water. However, they are releasing water on daily basis. Around 400 cubic water is released on daily basis. But they have advised people, especially in the plain areas, to stay on alert. If there will be more rainfall, they have to leave more water.
All right. Thank you so much, Muskan, for all those details from there. While in Uttarakhand, the weather department has issued a warning for heavy to very heavy rainfall in the 7 districts for today. In view of the heavy downpour, schools will remain closed in Nainital, Dehradun, Chamoli and other districts. While continuous rain in the state halted Kedarnath highway after boulder crashed down amid rain fury in Rudraprayag. Also, due to heavy rainfall, cloudburst occurred in Kariligarh, Sahastradhara at night. Rescue and relief operation of district administration continues. District administration has shifted affected people to safer places. Additionally, a bridge near Fun Valley in Uttarakhand Dental College on the Dehradun-Haridwar National Highway has been damaged, further disrupting traffic in the region. Well, in Uttarakhand's Rishikesh, the water level of the Chandrabhaga River has risen significantly, raising concerns among the locals and the authorities there. Well, as rains are wreaking havoc in many parts of the state, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami took stock of the situation in the affected areas and assured all possible help. Earlier, Uttarakhand Chief Minister briefed Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. They were informed about the relief and rescue operations being carried out in the affected areas. Later, he shared the information on X, saying that in this difficult time of disaster, we stand with affected families with full commitment and are providing them with every possible assistance. And moving on, Riyadh witnessed a vibrant celebration of Hindi Divas as the Embassy of India hosted a cultural program that brought together Saudi nationals and students of Indian schools. Well, the students of Indian schools and children of the embassy community added further charm with colorful cultural presentations that drew enthusiastic applause. The event featured speeches and songs in Hindi by Saudi participants alongside captivating performances by students, offering a vivid display of the language's richness and diversity. The cultural segment stood out with Saudi nationals delivering speeches and songs in Hindi.
आज इस विशेष अवसर पर आप सबके बीच आके मैं बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ। हिंदी केवल एक भाषा नहीं है बल्कि हमारी संस्कृति, इतिहास और भावनाओं का प्रतीक है। हिंदी हमें आपस में जोड़ती है और हमारे विचारों को एक नया रूप देती है। भारत और सऊदी अरब के बीच की दोस्ती और सहयोग हमेशा से गहरी और मजबूत रही है। मैं इस दोस्ती को दिल से सराहती हूँ।
I'm a big fan of Bollywood, so today I'm going to present one song for all the Indian nation. ये गाना सिर्फ पूरा हिंदुस्तान के लिए है। हम लोगों को समझ सको तो, हम लोगों को समझ सको तो समझो दिल भर जानी, जितना भी तुम समझोगे उतनी होगी हैरानी। हम लोगों को समझ सको तो समझो दिल भर जानी, जितना भी तुम समझोगे उतनी होगी हैरानी। अपनी छतरी तुमको दे दे कभी जो बरसे पानी, कभी नए पैकेट में भेजे तुमको चीज पुरानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी।
Well, India's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Dr. Suhail Ajaz Khan, underscoring the Government of India's commitment to the promotion of Hindi.
हमें गर्व होना चाहिए कि हम उस देश के नागरिक हैं जहां हिंदी जैसी समृद्ध भाषा बोली जाती है। आज हिंदी भाषा की लोकप्रियता भारत की सीमाओं को पार कर चुकी है। इसका एक अद्भुत उदाहरण आज हमारे बीच शामिल हमारे सऊदी मित्रों से मिला है, जो बॉलीवुड फिल्मों और गीतों से प्रभावित हुए और उन्होंने स्वयं हिंदी भाषा सीखने का निश्चय किया। हिंदी फिल्मों की भावनात्मक अभिव्यक्ति, संवादों की गहराई और गीतों की मिठास में उन्होंने हिंदी के प्रति एक गहरी जिज्ञासा और प्रेम पैदा किया।
Well, update from Nepal now. Newly appointed Home Minister Om Prakash Aryal has said the formation of the incumbent government aims to conduct the election in a free and impartial atmosphere. Talking to media persons after assuming his office at the ministry on Monday, he said the government was formed with this explicit mandate. According to him, rebuilding physical structures damaged during the recent demonstrations and guaranteeing good governance will be equal priorities of the government. He emphasized that those ousted by the revolt see a path for re-entry. They must test themselves through the election and seek citizens' mandate. While those also who claim success through the revolt must have it fully confirmed by the people through the electoral process. He also vowed an investigation into the alleged excessive use of force during the demonstrations during September 8th. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US appeals court allows Fed Governor Lisa Cook to stay in role amid Trump's effort to oust her. Income tax filing deadline extended to 16 September 2025.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we decode HAL's bold gamble. Can the Sitara trainer transform into a combat fighter? we explain the Great Nicobar Project, India's mega push at the Malacca Gateway. We reveal STAR, the supersonic target shaping India's missile mastery. We analyze the B-21 Raider, America's futuristic 6th-gen stealth bomber. Stay tuned for more updates this Wednesday at 8 PM IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Quran, and moving on to developments from West Asia. An emergency summit of Arab and Muslim countries held in Doha have declared its solidarity with Qatar and condemned Israel's bombing of the Qatari capital last week. Well, the extraordinary joint session between the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation gathered in nearly 60 member states on Monday. Leaders said the meeting marked a critical moment to deliver a united message following what they described as an unprecedented escalation by Israel. Also, a joint statement from the summit called for reviewing diplomatic and economic relations with Israel and initiating legal proceedings against it. While Qatar's fellow Gulf nations, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, along with Egypt, Jordan and Morocco, were among those present that recognize Israel. Also, the leaders of the UAE, Bahrain and Morocco, which signed the Abraham Accords recognizing Israel 5 years ago to the day, did not attend Monday's talks, sending senior representatives instead. And during the closing statement of the Emergency Arabic Islamic Summit, Gulf leaders said that the security of their states was indivisible. The GCC said that consultations were already underway among the bloc's military bodies to build up Gulf deterrent capabilities, with a meeting of the group's unified military command to take place soon in Doha. The joint statement called for a meeting to be held in Doha to discuss further steps to ensure that the safety and the joint security of the GCC countries is addressed.
Our strategic partners in the United States to use their influence on Israel in order for it to stop this behavior. We really do expect that. They have leverage and influence on Israel, and it's about time that this leverage and influence to be used.
Meanwhile, Israeli military has begun their ground offensive in Gaza City after launching airstrikes in Qatar. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not rule out further strikes on Hamas leaders wherever they are. And turning towards US President Donald Trump's comments on the issue, he warned Hamas on Monday that all bets are off. He also said that he has read news reports that Hamas was going to move the hostages above ground to use them as human shields. Well, Trump repeated his assertion that Israel will not be striking Qatar again.
He won't be hitting Qatar, but he will be maybe going after. Now, there was an article that I read in a newspaper just about an hour ago where Hamas said they're going to use the 20 hostages as human shields. They're going to bring them up from the dark tunnels, and they're going to put them in the line of fire so that if Israel goes forward, they're going to die. And I thought that was very terrible, and I put out a statement on that. You saw that.
Well, the U.S. Federal Appeals Court ruled that Central Bank Governor Lisa Cook could remain in her role for now, with a rate-setting meeting this week after U.S. President Donald Trump sought to fire her. Well, Trump has sought to oust Cook from the Federal Reserve over allegations of mortgage fraud. But the ruling from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit allows her to participate in a key two-day interest rate meeting due to start early on Tuesday. Also, the White House campaign to unseat Cook marks an unprecedented bid to reshape the Fed's 7-member governing board. No president has fired a sitting Fed governor in the agency's 112-year history. Well, Trump sought to fire Cook on August 25th, but a federal judge ruled last week that the removal was illegal and reinstated her to the Fed's board. Well, Trump appointee Bill Pulte has accused Cook of mortgage fraud, but Cook has denied the charges. The case threatens to erode the Fed's long-time political independence. Also, the economists prefer independent central banks because they can do unpopular things like lifting interest rates to combat inflation more easily than elected officials. Also, the U.S. Senate narrowly confirmed Stephen Miran to the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, expanding President Donald Trump's influence over the world's most important central bank and handing his top economic advisor one of 12 interest rate-setting votes on the eve of a key policy meeting. While pending the completion of paperwork and his swearing in, Miran will take part in the U.S. Central Bank's two-day policy meeting that starts on Tuesday. And in the latest bid to reshape the American economy, President Donald Trump has endorsed ending the decades-long practice of public companies sharing their financial results once each quarter. Instead, U.S. companies should be allowed to report earnings every 6 months. The president said on his social media site Truth Social that change, which he had previously called for in 2018, would cut costs and discourage short-sightedness on the part of publicly traded companies. Trump said that this will save money and allow managers to focus on properly running their companies. Currently, the Securities and Exchange Commission requires corporations to report their financial statements every 90 days. Half-yearly reporting would mark a huge change in disclosure requirements and put the U.S. in line with UK and several countries in the European Union. While Trump's call puts him squarely on one side of a persistent tension between companies on one hand that seek to lessen the burdens of frequent market updates and investor demands for information on the future. And U.S. President Donald Trump will land in Britain for a historic second state visit on Tuesday. Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are to arrive for talks and state dinner with King Charles and Queen Camilla at Windsor Castle. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host Trump at his Chequers County residence on Thursday. The two leaders will talk about enhancing collaboration with the goal of finalizing the previously promised reductions in steel and aluminium tariffs. Well, officials announced that two governments are set to finalize a trade agreement focused on strengthening the tech sectors through a new science and technology partnership, cooperation in civil nuclear power, and advancements in defense technology. Meanwhile, ahead of Trump's visit, Google announced that it will invest €5 billion in the UK over the next 2 years to help power the country's AI drive. Also, the funds will be used for capital expenditure, research and development, and will include support for Google DeepMind's AI research in science and healthcare. And in business news, the Income Tax Department has extended the deadline for filing the income tax returns or ITRs for the financial year 2025-26 to 16th of September 2025, giving taxpayers one extra day. Well, the original due date of 31st July was first moved to 15th of September and now further extended due to technical issues. To support this change, the e-filing portal will be under maintenance from 12 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. on 16th of September. Taxpayers are advised to file early to avoid last-minute hassles. And in sports, India's Grandmaster Ramesh Babu Vaishali scripted history as she became the first player to defend her 5 women's Grand Swiss title in Uzbekistan. Well, the Indian Grandmaster held out Tan Zhongzi, a former world champion, to a draw and took the lead. Although she and Russia's Katerina Lagno had the same number of points, 8 out of a possible 11, but Vaishali's better tie-break score earned her the coveted crown. She has become the 3rd Indian woman to qualify for the next year's candidate tournament. Divya Deshmukh and Konaru Hampi have already qualified for the prestigious event. The winner of the candidates faces the reigning world champion for the ultimate crown. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Vaishali in a social media post. He said, and I quote, "Outstanding accomplishment. Congrats to Vaishali Ramesh Babu. Her passion and dedication are exemplary. Best wishes for her future endeavors." Unquote. And India scripted a historic moment in global skating as Anand Kumar Velkumar clinched the country's first ever gold at the Speed Skating World Championships in China on Monday. The 22-year-old speedster passed to victory in the senior men's 1,000-meter sprint with a timing of 1:24:9:24, becoming India's first world champion in the sport. Velkumar has been steadily rising on the international stage. He first gained attention in 2021 with a silver at the Junior World Championships. With 2 historic bronzes in a month, his success marks a breakthrough for Indian speed skating and signals a bright future for the sport in the country. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Velkumar in a social media post. He said, and I quote, "Proud of Anand Kumar Velkumar for winning the gold at the senior men's 1,000-meter sprint in the Speed Skating World Championship 2025. His grit, speed and spirit have made him India's first world champion in skating. His accomplishment will inspire countless youngsters. Congratulations to him and best wishes for all future endeavors," unquote. And Armand Mondo Duplantis broke the pole vault world record for the 14th time on Monday, clearing 6.30 meters to capture his 3rd world championship. With this win, Mondo Duplantis completed a hat-trick of world championship medals, reaffirming his peerless status in men's pole vault. The 25-year-old has now claimed the past 8 global men's pole vault gold medals on offer across both indoor and outdoor competitions following his triumph in the Japanese capital. Returning to the stadium where he achieved the first of those major successes 4 years ago, Duplantis owned his latest moment in the spotlight with his charisma and breathtaking talent. Duplantis has already won every major gold available to him, while last year he became the first man to retain the Olympic pole vault title for 68 years at Paris in 2024. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available in both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshik Rana from Al Bazaar in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India.